What is up, guys, and welcome back to the channel. So today we're going to be ranking all of the Flash's graphic novels updated for the new Deathstorm storyline. So yeah, guys, let's just get right into it. Coming in at number 6, I have the God Complex graphic novel, or the Forces storyline. It was a terrible storyline. You had all the Forces versus the Speed Force as the main villain. Well, not the Speed Force. Speed Force Nora, who in my opinion is a very bad character. I just really was not a fan of this storyline whatsoever. I mean, yeah, the first 2 episodes of this graphic novel were alright. You had Season 7, Episode 4, where Abracadabra returned. He's always a great villain to see. And, you know, you also had that Oliver reference in that episode. That was, of course, a great moment. Then Episode 5, where Psyche appeared, he actually seemed like a super threatening villain. And if he was the main villain for the Forces storyline instead, I think this would have been a little bit better. But for now, I think it was just absolutely terrible, and it deserves to sit down here at number 6. So coming in at number 5, I have the Reflections and Lies graphic novel, which would be the Mirror Monarch stuff. So basically, of course, this one went from toward the end of Season 6 to the beginning of Season 7, and the first couple episodes of Season 7 were actually really good, where, you know, Eva was not appearing in it, because obviously I really don't think she's a very good villain at all. But those first couple of episodes where she didn't appear very much, and it was just like Barry and Team Flash, those were such a great couple of episodes right there. And then in Season 6, now the storyline of Mirror Monarch itself wasn't very good. However, during the time of that Mirror Monarch stuff, you also had like a Godspeed episode, a little Reverse Flash storyline. Grodd returned. So, you know, it's not exactly the storyline of Mirror Monarch that was good, but, you know, the other events going on during that storyline were pretty good. So that's why it's not last on this list, but still not the best storyline. So guys, the top 4 right here I actually enjoyed a lot of. So coming in at number 4, though, I have the Godspeed Imperative. Now, as annoying as some of the parts of this graphic novel were, I still really enjoyed it. Godspeed is a great character in my opinion. I just think that if he got more episodes to show how good of a character he was, then everyone else would agree with me. But obviously, he was only like the main villain for like 1 episode, which was it's incredibly stupid. Hopefully, he gets a new storyline later in the Flash Season 8. But nonetheless, this graphic novel was only 4 episodes, which is kind of stupid. They had a bunch of filler episodes in Season 7 that very well could have been Godspeed episodes, and I think they definitely should have done that. They did the Godspeed clones before real Godspeed, which made no sense to me. They should have just done Godspeed. But yeah, even though those were some bad things, you still had a bunch of characters return. Jake Garrick, Nora, Bart was introduced. All that was really cool. So yeah, I'd say the Godspeed Imperative, a little bit underrated, but also it definitely had its problems. So now at number 3, I have the Deathstorm graphic novel. Now, I think there were only a couple of bad episodes in this one, and that would be episodes 9 and 10. They really were just, you know, kind of uneventful, and I really wasn't a huge fan of those. However, episode 8, I think, was a great one, just because of all the callbacks to Barry and his father. That was so good. Then you had episode 11, which I think was one of the best episodes of the season. That episode literally had me on the edge of my seat, with Ronnie Raymond coming back, you know, presumably, of course, until the end of the episode when he was revealed to be Deathstorm, which I thought was so cool. So yeah, that episode was great. Then you had episode 12, which, you know, that one, you know, not as good as episode 11, but still I thought it was pretty cool. You had that one scene with Barry running on his own lightning. I think that was awesome. Then episode 13 with the death of Frost, which, you know, that was well deserved. I think Frost had a decent last episode. And then, of course, the funeral scene in episode 14. That one was just sort of a filler episode, but nonetheless, I'd still say this storyline was pretty good, especially, like I said before, the parts with Ronnie Raymond returning. Also, you had Eddie Thawne return in a couple of these scenes as well, so that was cool to see. So now coming in at number 2, I have Armageddon. Now Armageddon I think was great. Of course, there are still those little things that I really wasn't a fan of, like the Chester and Allegra stuff, the Why Don't You Love BS from episode 4. Thankfully, episode 4 had a lot of other things to make up for that terrible storyline. I really hate what they did with Ryan Choi in that episode because he's a pretty good character. I really hated that they wasted that, his storyline on that "why don't you love" stuff. But nonetheless, we still had tons of returning characters. Black Lightning, Ray Palmer. It was really cool to see him again. You had Batwoman, and then some other characters that I can't think of at the moment. But yeah, Reverse Flash was also in there. He was basically the main villain. Despero, I think, was pretty cool as a villain, and yeah, I thought Armageddon overall was pretty good. It really felt like, sort of like an earlier seasons type of crossover, and I was really a fan of what they did with Armageddon. And then at number 1, of course, is the Blood and Truth graphic novel, or the Bloodwork storyline. Now, this storyline right here was one of the last storylines where it actually sort of still felt connected to like the earlier seasons of The Flash, like seasons 2 and 3. It just felt like the same. It had like the same type of vibe because it was still like before Crisis on Infinite Earth, so they were still like going up to that moment while trying to defend off Bloodwork, and one of the best Flash episodes of all time, which is the Last Temptation of Barry Allen Part 1, where Barry he's like locked up in his own mind. It was such a cool episode. He was being taken over by Bloodwork, and yeah, you just had, I feel like that storyline, you had such great characters. I even enjoyed Chester and Allegra's role in that storyline, and I really wish they kind of kept them doing those exact same roles. But yeah, nonetheless, that storyline I thought was great. Bloodwork is such a good main villain, and of course then that, as I said before, leading up to Crisis on Infinite Earths, I thought was played out pretty good. But anyways, I'd say that's about it, guys. Thanks for watching. Make sure to comment your thoughts on my ranking down below, and make sure to comment your own ranking of your Flash's graphic novels. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video.